So, Andrea, hello, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again.
So we were talking about community and the importance of community for your business. And one big part of understanding, piecing it together in a whole puzzle of, what's and where's and how's is why do some communities fail and others don't? And it's kind of important for us as businesses and startups to understand where does it fit and what kind of situation should we mitigate upfront.
Okay, so first of all, that's $1 million question. And if there was one single answer to this, I guess then most of the communities would succeed and none of them would fail. But throughout my just professional experience building communities, I have to pinpoint just a few common mistakes, I guess we can name them that way, and things to avoid. So one of the pitfalls of having an online community is that you need to have an offline community before you have an online community. So if you don't have an offline community to begin with, the chances that you would actually transfer those people to a digital space are quite slim. Why is this? So what I mean by offline community is that you need to group those people in a physical space at least once, get them to know each other and definitely interact with each other, get that community feeling up and running. And of course, it's very important that those people know why they're there. So what are the values of the community? What kind of specific problem are they gathered to solve, right? And there needs to be that human element before we move into the digital space. So work on establishing an offline community, at least a little bit, before you try to transfer them to digital space. So that would be the pitfall number one, if you don't have that. Number two would be that you constantly talk about things that interest you and not the community. So I think it's very important for community managers or for decision makers in the company to actually understand that they're not the star of the conversation. So if I've seen a lot of communities just grow and die because they would constantly force conversations that the community manager thought were interesting to them. So I guess it's a hard pill to swallow for most brands, but you're not important, the community is important. So you have to constantly address their pains, their issues, their passions, their interests, and so on. So you have to talk about them, not about you. And I guess the third thing, which is probably the hardest thing to grasp, is that it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. It takes patience. It takes perseverance, and it just takes a lot of time in the sense that you have to understand that when you're building a community, it's as if, I guess I could draw a parallel to building a meaningful relationship with another person.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't force those things. You have to let it flow. You have to always and constantly listen. You have to have your finger on the pulse of the community. And you have to realize that it takes time. It takes effort, but it takes smart effort. Not just doing things and just piling up your task list. Would they react to this? Would this be interesting to them? So you have to learn more about them, and then it takes a little bit less time. And when it comes to content, because when we talk about community engagement and what keeps communities alive, it's typically the content, right?
Yeah.
So I came across a very disturbing but yet very interesting statistics that says that only 1% out of 100% of your community members, only 1% of those people are actually content creators. 9% out of those 100% are content, let's say, interactors, people that comment, share, like,
engage
post,
with the content.
exactly, engage with the content, which leaves us with a staggering 90% of people that are just content consumers and passive viewers. So what I mean by that is that it takes a lot of time and patience because, the numbers are showing that 90% of people are just consuming. So just, give them time.
Yeah.
That would be my input.
That would be input. Perfect.
Yeah. That's
Great.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the pose of that, everything that works is exactly the opposite of what I just told you
So
that
you shouldn't
doesn't
do
work.
it.
So yes, so just do the things the opposite of what I just told you, and you should be fine.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good.